Matrix multiplication, multiplying matrices. When multiplying matrices, it's really important to remember that the column of the first one has to match the row of the second one. And we can kind of see this by listing it out. So it's really important about order. Order matters here. O-R-D-E-R matters. M-A-T-T-E-R-S. Order matters here. So when we look at this one's not too bad. It's a 2 by 2 times a 2 by 2. But let's illustrate what's going on here. So order matters. So we're looking at the B times A here. Visually, you can get thrown off real easy. So you just write out what the dimensions are and make sure they match. So B times A. All right. B is a 2 by 2 matrix times A is a 2 by 2 matrix. And this is the row and the column of B, and this is the row and the column of A. So what has to match here is the column of the first has to match the row of the second. But notice what I did here. When you list them out, it's just the middle ones have to match. So that's kind of the key that I like to remember. So this is possible. But of course, if you have a square matrix times a square matrix, it's going to link together no matter what. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our multiplication here. So the first row multiplies the first column. So the row here is 5. So 5 times 2, 5 times 2 plus negative 2 times 0 plus negative 2 times 0. That's going to be our row 1, column 1 entry. Okay. So then I go ahead and I do the row and column. Row of the first times column of the second. So row of the first is a 5 times the 0 is where it links, times 0 plus the row times the second, negative 2 times 2. Negative 2 times 2. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same thing. So now we're on this second row and first column here. Second row, first column. That's going to give us the second row, first column entry. So second row, negative 1 times 2, negative 1 times 2 plus the 5 times 0. 5 times 0. That's the second row, first column entry. Second row, second column entry is a negative 1 times 0 plus 5 times 2. 5 times 2. Okay, so I'll go ahead and just do one more simplification here, and then we'll write out our answer. All right, so 5 times 2 is 10 plus 0. It's easy. 0, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 plus 0, 5 times 0. And negative 1 times 0 is 0. 5 times 2 is 10. All right, so that gives us our answer of 10, negative 4, negative 2, and 10. Just confirm, everything looks good. Okay, let's see if they give us anything different here. All right, let's see how we approach this. So, like I said, we would write it out and then approach it from there. So, it's D times A. What are the dimensions of D? D is a 2 by 2. Rows are 2, columns are 2, and here's something different. Times, this one is a 2 row, 3 column. 2 row times 3 column. So question, Are these able to be multiplied together? Sometimes they're not. Well, do these numbers match? Yes, they do. So that means your end result should be a 2 by 2 matrix. Let's go ahead and see if it expands to something else. It could be. So I'll go ahead and erase this so we know that it works now. All right, so the row times column. Give myself some nice big room to work here. First row times the first column. 4 times 3 plus, always adding between the, when you move on to the next one, -1 times 2. Going to the next one, looks like it's going to be a 2 by 3 answer. All right, so 4 times 1, 4 times 1, -1 times 1 plus -1 times 1. And the last one, 4 times 0, 4 times 0 plus -1 times -2. -1 dot -2. So it looks like not too hard just to redraw it. -1 times -2. All right. Now, going on to the next one, 2 times, so second row, first column. That's going to be this entry right here. 2 times 3, 2 times 3, plus -1 times 2, -1 times 2. Next entry, 2 times 1, plus -1 times 1. And the last second row, third column, 2 times 0 plus -1 times -2. All right. Now I'll go ahead and just do it one. Looks like I got some room here. I like how I set this one up. So I'll just go ahead and give myself some room and I'll do my work right underneath it. Okay. Usually we'd just go ahead and write another one, but I'm just going to save some space on this. All right. I'll change some colors so we don't get that confused. All right. 4 times 3 is 12. -1 times 2 is -2. 4 times 1 is 4. -1 times 1 is -1. 4 times 0 is 0. -1 times -2 plus 2. And on this one, 2 times 3 is 6. -2, -1 times 2. 2 times 1 is 2, plus -1 times 1 is -1. 2 times 0 is 0. -1 times -2 is +2. So notice the steps I do here. Be very careful about doing it in your head. It's real easy to make mistakes on these. There's so much action going on. The more you list things out, the easier it gets. So 10, 4 minus 1 is 3. 0 plus 2 is 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. 2 minus 1 is 1. And 0 plus 2 is 2. Everything looks correct. Got it. So the key is match up the, write out the dimensions and have the middle entries match. So this is a 2 by 2, 2 rows, 2 columns. The columns have to match the rows. So I just kind of remember it visually, and then if we have to explain it, we would just verbalize it.